Hey guys, so today I thought I'd make a guide video on how to be a better Veigar player. He's one of my favorite champions in the game, and really he's a super simple champion to use, and he's very effective in climbing ranks. But the first thing you need to do is you need to understand his mechanics. His Q is a Baleful Strike. It's a skill shot that creates a stack. You get one stack from every minion killed with it, or you can gain a stack simply by striking an enemy champion. His W is Dark Matter. It's another skill shot that summons a circular smite, which does a hefty amount of damage to whatever it strikes. His E is Event Horizon, and it's another skill shot. It forms a circular cage that entraps its enemies inside. If an enemy is caught on the outskirts of the trap, they're stunned for a really long time. His R is Primordial Burst, and it's guaranteed to make your enemy laner rage quit. It's Veigar's only point-to-click ability. This is basically an execute. His ultimate does X amount of damage depending on your stacks from Baleful Strike. What makes this even better is that if your enemy's target is under 33% HP, it deals a strikingly larger amount of damage, essentially killing your target. His passive, Phenomenal Evil Power, is the most important thing in Veigar's kit. It allows you to stack your Q. For every stack you have, you receive one extra ability power. After 20 minutes in this game, these things add up. This is amazing because you basically have no skill cap, and the passive affects all of your abilities, not just one. So this means that everything that deals damage is constantly scaling. Now that you understand his mechanics, you need to utilize your farm. Farming is important with nearly all champions depending on your lane, but with Veigar, in particular, it's pretty mandatory. If your CS game is weak, then your stacking is probably going to be weak as well, causing your scaling to be very low, and low scaling can be very frustrating. A rule of thumb is to keep it around 10 stacks per minute. This means that by 20 minutes you would have around 200 stacks, which would be absolutely phenomenal. However, don't be discouraged if you don't achieve this every time, as it can be really difficult in some laning situations. Generally, if you don't have at least 100 stacks by 20 minutes, you're not stacking as hard as you should be. Next, you need to learn your combos. Veigar isn't really a champion that you can just randomly strike abilities and hope that it does some damage to your enemies. His attacks work better if they're planned out and executed correctly. His greatest combo is to first place a trap with E, then strike your enemy immediately with W, followed by Q, and then finish him off with your ultimate if needed. Sometimes this won't be so easy, so be ready to poke with your Q and set a trap just in case you need to escape from a sticky situation. Veigar is an amazing team player as well as a solo laner. His trap set up a great team fight, and his massive burst damage can easily help turn games around. Don't be a hog on the kills though. It's easy to get kills with Veigar, but being the only carry on your team can be a disadvantage to you. Remember to share the love if you can. Next, you need to build according to your necessities. A standard Veigar build could be Morarell Nomicon followed by boots of your choice. I usually take the cooldown boots. I don't remember what they're called. Next, I build Void Staff, then Rabadon's Death Cap, and Zhonya's Hourglass. If you can manage to get these essentials, the rest of the build is up to you, really. On some occasions, you need to get unusual items. We understand, do what you gotta do. If you're unsure on what to build, stick to straight AP items. Some defense may be necessary sometimes, but usually Veigar's a pretty squishy champ. Try to stay away from tanky items that will take away from his power. Be careful with his counters. While Veigar can be a strong choice, some champions counter the bloody hell out of him. His strongest counters would be Zed, Fizz, Akali, Talon, Katarina, or Ezreal. These are the worst mainly because they can jump out of his traps, without being stunned, making it nearly impossible to land a combo. No combo means no damage in many cases, and it usually results in losing lane. If you can avoid these matchups, by all means do so. If not, here are a few tips on how to defeat them in lane. Number 1, rush Zhonya's Hourglass. I cannot stress this enough. As soon as you get your mana under control, Zhonya's should be the next thing you build. This can save you from many untimely deaths you will be expecting. I'm not saying this will win the lane, but it will help you out a little bit. Keep your distance. You're not going to win this lane easily unless they're terrible at their champion. Wait for ganks from your jungler, and attack after they use their combos. Be sure to time your Zhonya's perfectly. Next, you need to check out your runes and masteries. For the sake of time, I won't explain runes and masteries to you. I'm sure you already know what they are, but I will attach a photo of my pages. For your keystone, Thunderlord's Decree is the greatest option. Well, maybe not the greatest, but I think it's pretty awesome. Experiment and do what works best for you though. But until next time, thanks for watching League of Lessons, and let me know who I should cover next.